That introduction, I feel like I should look at somebody else in the room. I don't think that's me. So, hello everybody. Thank you for having me. I am honored. I really am. This is a huge honor for me. One, because as you mentioned, I like to work with the youth and students here on the campus. It's my passion. It's what I'm good at. It's what I love. I feel like, in a way, I'm cheating because I'm passionate about my job. I don't even consider it work, really. Every day I get up and I get to go to work, and that's fun. That's a lot of fun for me. But they pay me for it, so I feel like I'm cheating. But I won't give the paycheck back. Okay, so let me start by, is this the clicker here?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's talk about how to make you marketable. I don't know if you all know this, but you're a brand. Did you know that? Like Nike, like McDonald's, all the subliminal messages and advertising and marketing, you see millions upon millions daily. You're a brand. What do we know about brands? The best brands, the ones that make the most profit, is because the marketing is really, really good, right? You see commercials on TV, you see billboards, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to bore you with all that. But I just want you to understand that you're a brand. So, since you're a brand, you're your own company, you're your own marketing strategy department, you're your own product. So what do you do when it's time to interview to sell your brand? That's how I'm going to incorporate all of this. Who's that handsome gentleman? I'm pushing the wrong button. Of course. So let's talk about how to market yourself. How to market yourself. So there's two things I want you to understand. When you market yourself, you're doing two things. You're making yourself look good, stand out, making yourself look unique. And then the other thing you're trying to do is separate yourself from the pack. Because as you know, when you interview, you're not the only person interviewing, right? So what you want to do is you want to sell your brand, you want to market yourself in such a way that when you get up and leave that interview, you wow them. You really get their attention. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So this stuff is elementary, but I just wanted to put it up there really quick. Obviously, you know you need to do the resume, right? And that resume is important. The reason why is because this is your first encounter with the company or the employer. This is your first encounter. This is how you get the interview. So your resume has to be, I hate using the word perfect, but it has to be immaculate. It does. So we're talking about, obviously, grammatical, no spelling errors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're having trouble with your resume, we have a great department on campus called ACE in the, oh, it's over here. I'm trying to find my bearings. In the SA building on the second floor, when you come off the elevator and you go through to the lobby, the hallway, I'm sorry, make a right, and it'll be the first business office on your right. ACE, and they'll help you with a resume, with your resume. That's free, by the way. Love that word. So what we do, we're not perfect, right? We all have shortcomings. So you need to do other things that make you look good for the things you don't do as well. Make sense? Hello. Are you bilingual? Can you speak another language? A great marketing tool, because we live here in the Bay Area where there's a lot of diversity. And so there's people who maybe are not proficient in English and speak another language or what have you. So you can help the company by helping an entire clientele that they may not even have access to. But those people have money. And what does your business want? The money. And so how can you market that? Well, I have access to this group of people in this area, and I can bring them to you. But here's the caveat. You have to hire me first. See the plan? See how I market that? You can't get to them unless you hire me. I'm the bridge in between the abyss there. All right? Your gender. A lot of people are not paying attention to this, but your gender is important. Your gender can sometimes make or break the interview. Most people look at their gender as a disadvantage. No. That's incorrect. It is a huge advantage. You just got to know how to use it. Okay? Ethnicity is another. Again, I talked about the diversity, right? So you can use that because that also makes you unique. If you have a hobby, and some of the hobbies that you have, you can get certified for. But if you have a hobby that can help you in a job, then let them know that you've been doing this for a significant period of time. Social media is huge today. And some of that's your hobby. Let me tell you why I know. I have children around your age. And they're on the social media more than anything else. And so how can you market that? Well, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Vine, I'm on Facebook. I can do this, that, and the other thing. And so what are you telling the employer? Again, if you hire me, I can bring you into this new realm of clientele and advertising and marketing, etc., etc., etc. Any questions? Did I go over anybody's hand? We're good? All right. And your skill set. You got to really understand you. What is your skills? What are you good at? What do you do? What are you passionate about? You got to put all those together and market your brand. Okay? Here's my advice. Research the company. Okay? Research the company. When were they created? When did they start? Who is the founder, the CEO, the CFO? Where are they located? Some of if you read their mission statement, it might fall right in line with your values and morals. Now, what if you verbalize that in the interview, in your own words? You think that won't catch on to that? Yes, they will. Absolutely. So research the company. For another reason, their mission statement may be the exact opposite of your morals and values. And you realize, this is not where I want to be. It's not going to work with who I am personally. After you research the company, research the position you're going for. Now, here's another secret. I'm full of secrets today. I didn't know that. The other secret is this. When you look at a job description, you should meet at least 80% of what they're asking. If you don't meet that, there really is no reason for you to apply. Now, I'll tell you what you could do. You research the company and the position, and then why don't you start developing what they're asking for? Oh, they want me to have some budgeting. Let me take a class on budgeting. They want me to know something about economics or something about technology, maybe a certain software. Then let me get that certification. Huh? Yeah. What does the company need? You need to find out what they need. Because if you can find out what they need, and then you get it, then they'll need you. Now, if you want to know the secret of negotiating, especially when it comes to salary, find out what they need. And if you have what they need, you're a commodity. Y'all know what that word means? Huh? Yeah. You're a commodity now. That's how you sell yourself. That's how you do it. Yeah. Know your work, but you have to know your work. So the other thing is, too, is you want to compare salaries. You want to compare somebody who's in the, I don't want to say that word. Let me find a better word. The opponent, right? Because, each business, they have rivalries. So Nike and Reebok, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Burger King, McDonald's. So you want to find what their counterpart who has a job similar or the same as what you're applying for. Well, what are they making over there? What is Google offering? What is Intel offering? What is Dell, Apple? What are they offering for those positions? Oh, if it's similar, then ask for that. Don't go outside the box and ask for 1.2 million. That's just ridiculous, right? But you need to know your worth. So if you have what they need and all the other things I talked about before, bringing clientele over to the company, you can go a little bit over what they're asking for, a little bit over, okay? But don't get ridiculous. Be confident. When you walk in an interview, this is important. Another great secret. You want to be confident. Go in, give them a stern handshake. Grip it, just like your bodybuilder. Get in there, right? But because that shows them something. It shows them that you're serious. It shows them that you're taking this interview very seriously. Smile, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing wrong with your teeth. Smile. Because what do we know about a smile? It's universal. It lets everybody else kind of calm down and come at ease, right? Did you notice I smile a lot when I'm up here with my great personality and all that, right? Smile. Good handshake, smile, be confident. And the way you be confident is you have to practice. You need to practice. You need to practice. You need to practice your interview. Sit your mom and dad down and have them be the employer and practice on them. Don't stutter. If you stutter, you need to practice. Right? If you get nervous, you need to practice. The more you practice, the less nervous you'll be. I promise you. Everybody in here, because I'm a counselor, I know this, has taken A1, the requirement here on campus, the GE. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't leave me here by myself. Right? A1 is what? Communication. What communication? Yeah, but it's a specific name. Public speaking. Public speaking. Okay? And the reason why that's important is because what do you learn in that class?
How to public speak.
How to speak! You're scaring me. You're scaring me. You really are. Okay? How to speak. So when you sit down and you're giving this interview, use words you know in the proper context. If it's a word you heard the other day, you might not want to use that unless you looked it up. And then you practice, right? But you want to come off confident, you want to come off intelligent, and that's really why practicing is so crucial. I'm gonna tell you something that has to stay in this room. Okay? Let me tell you how I practice. In the mirror. I go in the bathroom, I shut the door, no noise, and I practice in the mirror. Because the hardest person for me to talk to is myself. I'm looking back at me, and that dude looks funny. But I can't laugh in the interview, right? I've been looking at this guy all my life. So I practice in the mirror. That's funny, there's a reflection on this window. So, I'm looking at my hand gestures. I'm looking at what I'm doing with my face. Am I smiling enough? Do I look confident? Am I acting confident? Am I nervous? Do I stutter? You see what I'm saying? You guys get that? So maybe you can use my method of practicing in the mirror because you get to see yourself. You get to see yourself, see what you're doing. And you can determine if what you're doing is good or bad. Some of you, when you took public speaking, your professor recorded it and then allowed you to look at it later. Anybody had that experience? Okay, good, a few, great. The reason why that's good is because now you can, in some time in the future, go back and look and see what you're doing. And then you can critically criticize yourself. And then you can make the corrections as you see fit. And then lastly, good luck, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gardley. So up next, Dr. Kaumudi Misra. She's a faculty member in the Department of Management at CSUEB, where she teaches courses in strategic human resource management, organizational behavior, and HR analytics. I took that class. So if you haven't taken it yet, I definitely recommend that you take her class. It's a lot of fun. Her current research interests include the study of strategic HR practices for people working across different time zones, cross-cultural management, and work-life balance. Professor Misra completed her PhD in Michigan State University after getting an MBA. So prior to joining the doctoral program at Michigan State, she worked as an HR manager for a leading development bank where she was designated in the training facility and part of the organizational change and development initiative to implement HR best practices. Professor Misra's research has been widely recognized for its novelty and application to the field of human resources management. It received an honorable mention award for the Labor and Employment Relations Association, the singular association of employment relations scholars and practitioners across the country. She's also a recipient of the Susan G. Cohen Doctoral Research Award in Organizational Design and Effectiveness. And with that, you can go ahead and we'll start.
I don't have many secrets left, I guess. I just, I'm going to start with a story that I was remembering when Amber said how this whole session started. I hadn't planned on sharing it, but it's very relevant. So one of my students, one of you, in one of the classes, came up to me at the end of the term and said, Dr. Misra, I'm working in a hotel, and I've been there for 1.5 years, and as a part-time, and they are recently looking for a receptionist because she's being promoted, and I want to apply for that job. They have asked us internally, and I don't know if they will give us preference, but it's open to everyone. Can you tell me how I can pitch this? And she was a little concerned that, no one came up to her and said, would you like to do this? So I just, in our 5-minute conversation told her, we can set a time to talk more, but here's what you should do. Whoever is responsible for whoever is in HR, why don't you go talk to them? No, I don't know. Have you applied? Yes, I have. So I said, here's what you do. You wait till the application date is closed. Then they're just next door. Are you in a location where you would find that person? Yes. So I said, walk up to them. Do you know them? Yeah, I see them every day. So I said, walk up to them and introduce yourself. Just tell them what you just told me. But don't sound frustrated, like why didn't you come and talk to me? Apart from that, tell them I've been here for 1.5 years. I bring those skills. I have been doing this and this and this. I think I can do this job. What do you think? Just have a conversation. Nothing might come out of it. What do you do in that conversation? You pitch yourself. You communicate what you have done, and you communicate why they should be taking you for that position. And that was just my 5-minute thing with her. She never came back or never. And I was thinking, and then I saw her on the way one time, and she said, I got that job, and I was so happy. It's just a matter of, mainly going and communicating the right things. We are negotiating all the time. We negotiate at home with our parents. I don't know if you don't do that. How do we make it through if we don't negotiate with them? So it's very similar. You highlight what you bring to the table in one sentence. That's how it would be. What do you bring to the table? Don't say I think I can do this job. I think I deserve this. These are not things you bring to the table. What you bring to the table should be objective measures of what you can contribute. So I always have this favorite word, objectivity. If you want something, back it up with evidence. That would be your resume. I'm not going to repeat all that Mr. Gardley has said is very useful. That's the pitch you're making. So back it up with hard evidence that you can do the job, for example. Now our focus today is, I'm going back and forth, our focus today here is guys wanted me to talk about how can we negotiate raises and promotions. So I'm going to center the talk around that, and I'll keep it brief and open it up for Q&A. I can take questions. Now, we call it a secret art. So I want to say, is it an art in the first place, negotiation? I like to call it a skilled art. Think of it as, is it an art? Yes, but art has a lot of creativity in it. Are we starting from a blank slate? Are we painting something here? Probably not, because then you have more ambiguity. Negotiation is not ambiguous. It has certain skills that we can learn, and that's what we should be talking about. So I said, let's call it a skilled art. Can we tell you some secrets or train people to negotiate? Yes. Can I train a painter? Maybe not so much. I wouldn't like to. So it's a very skilled art, and and it's a very well-known secret. Everybody is negotiating. It's a word we have given to our communication on a daily basis. So where does this skill come from? Again, what you bring to the table. So the evidence of what you can use. So some secrets, I think one of the things I was thinking when Mr. Paul was talking was, what does the organization need? And how do you put that on your resume? One big secret is keywords. Having been in HR, I have found that more and more with the World Wide Web, what companies do, all employers do, is if they have so many applications, they do a first screening based on keywords that match the job description. So here's an open secret actually. You need to look at the job description and put some of those words, the skills that you have. I'm not asking you to lie. Okay? Don't put what you don't have,
Right.
because it will come across in your. So, but let's say they wanted some, very simplistically, they wanted you to be proficient in MS Word. Put proficient in MS Word, because when they are doing that search, your resume will come up on a priority basis. So that's one secret. Now, your bargaining power, where does it come from? How much leverage do you have? How do you know that? First, for salaries or even promotions, do a survey around you. What are people being paid in that market for the exact same job title? Don't compare an engineer with another job title and then make use. There's a lot of data available publicly where you can find compensation surveys, at least have an idea of what I might be able to ask. Once you do that, look at the skills that you have over and above what is required. Ballpark is you can ask 10% more than what you think you can ask, especially because we are a brand and I love our brand, CSUEB. So I wouldn't hesitate to ask for 10% more. When does that happen? Usually at the end of the interview process, when they are showing interest in you. So until you get there, if you're a good negotiator, you're not going to jump in and discuss salary. Let them first show the interest. Until then, you are selling yourself. Okay, so once they show interest, HR or somebody will ask you, so what were you thinking? Start with a little more than you think you deserve, so that you have leeway for negotiation. And then it might go back and forth a little bit. You might get a call. Let's say you get a call that you asked for 60,000 per annum, and you got a call that we pay people 50K for this job. Now the secret, I would just keep quiet for a little while they are gauging and thinking. And in that silence, maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute, you will know whether they are really interested. You are giving them time to think and respond to you. Either they'll say, get out of here, or they might smile. Okay? So that's another secret, I don't know. You have to use it after they show a lot of interest. That's the last stage of negotiating a salary. Now, a little bit different about promotions. Usually, it might create a situation internally like you had. There might be comparisons and some frustrations around. So smiling is very important. People tell me I smile too much, even when I'm complaining. Because I just think that the only way I can do it is by smiling. If I'm going to be frustrated, it's not going to be a good conversation. So be calm. Be calm whenever you are negotiating. That's extremely important. If somebody is yelling, even if you're not negotiating, the best strategy is to keep quiet at that time, because that person is not even listening to you, right? So stay calm so that you have your thought process and your facts right, and you're not saying things that you didn't want to say going in. And if you want to make comparisons, let's say one of the ladies at your organization wants to go up and challenge what's happening. Why aren't you paying us as much as you have advertised? What could you do in that situation? You have to stay calm, stay objective, and say why you think you deserve that. Employers will not, and it's not right to go and just make claims like, I just deserve it because I was here. Maybe you're not going to do the same job that the people who are coming in are doing. Maybe it's for a different position. So that's, a promotion is a little more tricky. Let's say, I think we'll get into an interesting scenario where we'll have more questions. But the last point I wanted to make is probably the second last. In negotiations, I am hoping you have great careers, so you might be in situations where you are not selling yourself, somebody else is selling themselves to you. So it depends on what the situation is and what the context is, what skills you should use. So let's say you are the supervisor and somebody is asking for a raise. What are the skills you need to say no? That's also a negotiation skill. How would you do that? Again, stay objective, look at what they can contribute, and say no very calmly. It's probably the same secret, either side of the table. And then positions and interests, that's what gives you the leverage or not. You either have leverage or you don't. Your position comes from the fact that you have some bargaining power. But look at the interest of both the parties when you make that conversation. Sometimes it has to be a hard sell. If you have a position and you want to stick to it, you have a strong interest in that promotion and you think you deserve it, then probably it has to be a harder sell. Okay? I had a couple interesting videos which, if we get time, we will get to it, but I want to open it up. A couple minutes for questions and then we can have the workshop. So there was this bargaining context in the NFL, and that's a very different context. I wanted to show you how the player was bargaining. But any questions before I wrap up? Do you feel like it's no longer a little less of a secret now? A little bit? Then our job is done. Okay, why don't we get into the workshop? Okay. Yes, go ahead.
What about when you do the interview and then you get called back in and then they already draw up the offer letter with the salary on it? How do you negotiate that? How do you start when they pretty much giving you the salary?
They usually would have a conversation before giving you an offer letter because they don't want people to turn them down. But if you get that, I think usually they will not change that figure. They printed it, you're right. There, you can negotiate on other things like benefits. Can I work from home? Or can I get this plan, that plan? So you can add to the compensation package. And ask them, why is the dollar amount like this? I was hoping for, but if you can't do that, can you do this? Usually they should have a conversation regarding your expectations before putting a number. Yes,
So you say 10% is the leeway to negotiate?
ballpark. Depending on your confidence of their ability and what you, actually the match between the job descriptions and your skills, I would say. If you think you have that, then up to 10% max.
So the 10% is the max that you can negotiate to,
Yeah,
So-
market says that.
so you could, like, you can make a counter offer at 15% to meet at 10, or start at 10 to meet at 5.
15% would be really, really very confident. I'm saying start at 10.
Start at 10.
Because you already, they know your expectations, they know the market much better than you do. It's just your skills and what extra you're bringing that gives you that 10%. I'm hoping both sides are smart, you know? Yes.
Could the leverage be coming from looking actively for another job?
Yes, if you have an offer, and you can say that they usually won't ask for an offer letter, but you run that risk. Sometimes they will ask for the other offer letter. So make sure you have that. Because telling them I'm in conversation with someone makes your leverage come down. But if you have an offer letter, you say you match that. Or you are working at a place, you can always say this is what I'm getting paid, I'm hoping for a 10% raise, otherwise I'm not moving. So that definitely gives you more.
If I can interject and add to that, that's the best leverage.
That's
The best leverage, because now you're going to have them in a bidding war over you. Again, you're a brand, right? So you sell yourself. Like she said, if you have an offer letter, you can tell them, because I've been in this situation before, you say, I really want to work for your company, but I have a better offer. Here's my evidence. So now the ball's in your court. Do with it as you will. See that confidence?
You say, this is what someone else is paying me, but I really want to come to East Bay for family reasons, weather, whatever. Weather doesn't work, but whatever reasons, I really have family, so I really want to stay. Can you at least match that? And better still, can you say that I don't want to move, but I have this offer. I really want to stay. Can you just give me some other benefits? So it's really helpful. Yes.
So when we apply for the job, they have a lot of requirements, a lot of skill sets, on the job descriptions. So from the HR perspective, there's no way you can find somebody who can meet all the requirements, right? So if you have an 80%, like what you said, we should be able to apply.
Yes, they will usually have what is essential criteria and what is desired criteria. You should have at least all the essential criteria and then some of the desired.
Okay.
And then, convincing them at the interview that you are able to do the job is part of the deal.
So don't need to be 100%.
No. Because the words they have used may not just match what exactly you are doing or have done. Yes.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why you should be applying to a job is because it can add something to your future. You should never apply for a job that you meet 100% because what are you going to get out of that employment? Right? So look at the skills you have. Look at the skills you want to have. And so if you meet 80% of what they're asking, cool. The 20% is what you're looking for 2 to 3 years down the line. So when you apply to the next job up, you can say, I already had the 80 when I applied to this position. Now I got a new 20, right? So now you're looking for the position up where you meet the qualifications of that 80%, and then you want the new 20, and then so on and so forth. That's how you become CEO. It is. No,
Yeah,
that wasn't a joke.
That's not.
That's serious, really. That's how you move up.
That's
Right?
not a joke, that's true.
Yeah.
And that regarding that 20%, another secret is, you know 80%, 75%. You think 75, you're 75% confident that you can do that job. When you are at the interview, the trick is to highlight in your resume what you are 100% confident about and not highlight that 25%. And in interview, guide the interviewer towards those skills that you are confident about. So you guide and yes, you guide and you just focus on your strengths and what you can do very confidently when you are talking.
But how about if they ask you the other 20%?
Yeah, I can learn. I'm a fast learner.
All right. Just be honest, be honest.
Yeah.
I don't have that, but I'm interested in getting it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm applying.
So do you think they still consider you even though you didn't have that 20%?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why 20% is so crucial, because that's not a lot in comparison to the entire position. And she's absolutely correct. You really have control over the interview. They don't tell you that, but you do. That's why the words I used was influence and persuade. So you want to keep moving it around into areas where you're strong. Don't look at my weaknesses. We're not worried about that. I want you to see what I'm good at, what I can do, how I can benefit you and the company, how I can make you money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because isn't that what you're interested in, really? Yeah, really, that's what you're interested in.
They start with tell me about yourself. It depends, tell me about yourself. They start an interview like that. It's completely in your power what you want to say in that first speech. And I would focus on that 70-80%.
Right.
Why don't we move on? Yeah.
Good question.
Thank you so much. So now I'm gonna invite the speakers to come sit here. And what we're gonna do now is let you guys do some negotiations. Excited? I'm sure you got a lot of good ideas. So I'm gonna give you a scenario as a group. And then based on that, we could have people volunteer their negotiation strategy, or even if you don't have a strategy but you have a question, you can also do that too, okay? Sound good? All right, so imagine you've gone through the interview process, you get called in for the final interview, and then the person in charge is there and he says, we'd like to have you come on board. Right? So now you're like, awesome, I got this job, I mean, they want me, and it's the job that I've been wanting to get, right? So the thing is, once he gives you that number, it's a little less than what you're making now. It's like, this is my dream job, right? So one of your friends that used to work there told you going in that he heard that there are some people that actually work from home on Fridays. So what would you guys do? What would you do in that scenario where, you know, you want to make a little more? There's some options as well. Anybody have an idea or want to try to pitch it? And they'll give you feedback about it. He was like, okay, see ya, thank you so much, have a nice day.
You could maybe negotiate for the Friday, work from home and accept the rate of pay in the beginning, but say, I'd like to come up for review in 3 months, and at that time, I'm going to want this much more money once you guys see how I perform. So that would be pushing the wages you want down the road, but at least getting your dream job and getting the Friday work from home benefit.
What do you guys think?
Ladies first.
Actually, keeping that open is a good idea. My only thought on the scenario is never tell them that you heard from someone, therefore you want that telecom. I would ask, are there any flexible working arrangements in your company that I would take advantage of? That's my only thought. But it's a
Okay.
great idea to keep the number open and say, can we have a probationary and then review?
Yeah, good response. That was right in the same vein as I was going. What I would do is I wouldn't say 3 months. 3 months is a very short period
Well, yeah,
of time.
just a
Yeah.
particular period.
I would probably push it out to 6 months. We call it a trial basis. That gives the company and the employer a little bit more time to analyze the Friday, what is it called again? Telecommuting. The Friday telecommuting isn't working because it could be cost ineffective for them. And then now we have a problem, right? Then again, it could be very cost effective because now you don't have employees traveling on Friday in the work dealing with you live in the Bay Area, so you guys know there's traffic jams and car accidents, and especially if you're working for a company who's into sustainability. So that's how you pitch it.
Yeah,
I have a car, it's old, I just got out of college. Yeah, really though, think about it.
Yeah.
It's bad on small, the emission. So okay, I understand. Why don't we do a 6-month trial? And then we carry on that way. Let me answer the other part, then we'll get to you. The other part that's interesting to me is, what if this position, even though it's less pay, but what if it's right in the vein of what you want to do in the future? Remember, I was telling you, you apply, you already have the 80, you're looking for the 20, they've given you the 20, right? Even though you don't get the pay, but the next position up is really good, right? And if you do this 80 and 20, you'll have the next 80. And let's say that salary is huge. It's a 30,000% increase. So would you take the decrease for the future increase? See, you guys are young. You're young. So that's not a bad idea, because then you could be making like 50, 60,000 at 25, 26, 27. That's really good. Don't have kids.
So my question is, so let's say that wasn't an option, and it's
What's not an option?
taking that pay cut, and then the position above didn't pay that much. Right?
Okay.
Okay, so why would you say that? I have all the qualifications that you're looking for, and I'm here to move forward.
Okay.
Why would I take a pay cut to move backwards? I'm not
Right.
here to move backwards.
And then
I'm making at least this much here.
Right.
And I'm with you guys because I want to work for you guys. I want to better your company and better myself and move up together and grow together.
Absolutely.
So how can you justify me taking a pay cut?
You just did. You just did. The way you worded it is very similar to how I would say it. I say, so let me go back to the scenario. Can I go back to the scenario quickly? You just got the job, right? So you haven't really been doing the job for any period of time?
No.
Okay. So again, going back to the gentleman behind this gentleman, I don't need to point, sorry. When you do the 6-month trial basis, if you decided to take, remember, you don't have to take the position.
Sure.
No is always in your vocabulary, ladies and gentlemen. Understand that. I don't want you to have a defeatist attitude or personality when you go in there. You should be so confident that they'd be stupid not to hire you. I don't want you to be conceited, don't get me wrong, right? But to a certain extent, you should be conceited because this is your brand, you know what you bring to the table, right? So going back to what you were saying, if it's not worth your while, the answer is no. Move on, cut your losses. It's not a big deal. There's other jobs out there.
And practicing is perfect, so that experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best practice.
Absolutely. And so you guys should be interviewing, even if you don't have the intentions of getting the job, just to get the practice, if for no other reason. I did that. The nose hurt, but I became really good really fast because I started to understand what I was doing wrong. I would even go in later and ask them, in my interview, what did you like, what didn't you like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Some people are willing to give you that advice and let you know, I didn't like your tie. Oh, man, that's one of my best. I'm just joking.
Just jump in and say the only situation where I might take a pay cut, first of all, you don't tell them you're taking a pay cut. But for my personal reasons, if I see that there is a skill I will learn here,
Oh, sure.
then I won't tell them I'm taking a pay cut, but I might take the job. Yeah.
Assuming the next position I get, you know, a really good
Takes care
chance
of
of.
that. Or you use it as a launching pad, go to a well-paying job.
Yeah. even
You
if
have
it's
to take care of yourself, so make sure you're getting enough.
For
Yeah, but I take the pay cut. For sometimes people do that.
Remember earlier I was talking about research the company? I'm really serious about that. And one of the things that I do when I research is what can they offer me if I work for them? What can I get out of them? See, don't be used by the company. Don't. Use them, right? What can I get from you that's going to catapult me to the next level, to where I really want to be? Maybe it's, again, the technology, some software, something you learned here at Cal State East Bay, but didn't become proficient at. You may not know this because you're pretty new, but here at Cal State East Bay, they offer classes for the employees. So, you think I'm not taking advantage of that? Oh, absolutely. And it's free. Yeah. Yes.
What's the typical length of time for that trial basis, as you call it?
I would say
6
6
months or
months,
1
but
year?
usually they'll already have an idea of what they want to do. The company will.
If you make it a longer length of time, will you be able to negotiate a higher percent raise?
If I were you, I wouldn't negotiate a longer length of time. I
A
wouldn't
longer
do that.
length of time means you might be you're losing out on potential gains, so you,
But
I mean, is
the problem
that
with
negotiable,
that
or?
may be uncertainty. Someone who promised you that and is observing will leave, so I think that's what it means by longer length, higher risk.
Right.
It
See,
depends on the job
Yeah.
too.
I
How long
understand
does
that.
it take to prove?
so let me tell you how I see it. And you can let me know if I'm in the ballpark or if I'm way off base. If it's a trial basis, that means you both are experimenting, right? So you're experimenting with Fridays off, telecommuting from home. They're experimenting, can I trust, what's your name, sir?
Mark?
Mark. Can I trust Mark to actually do the work on Fridays? Because for all we know, you're in your pajamas playing video games. Honestly, right? So, like I said before, is it cost effective? Is he actually working? So that's why it's a trial. I wouldn't move the trial to longer. What you do is you say, after the trial basis, let's meet and make it permanent. And then if it's, you need to do your own research as well. If you know that it's cost effective for the company, now you can negotiate for more money. Because you're making them money, so shouldn't you get a little bit of that? A little bit, right? Yeah. That's why when you said longer, I was like, ah.
So I mean, my idea, I've recently gone into 2 interviews, and my pitch is, I believe in loyalty, and I have a hard work ethic.
Okay, good.
And so if I can, exhibit that by saying I'm willing to take a longer period of time to show you that I'm interested in this company, to show you how well and how loyal I am and how hard I work for this period of time, will you give me 10% higher
But
than
let's
what you're
touch base in 6 months. So have a continuing conversation.
Yeah.
So that you're not losing the connection.
Because I'm going to tell you something that happens. You guys ever heard the term pigeonhole? Yeah. You can get pigeonholed quickly. And the bigger the company, the more common it is to get pigeonholed. So let me give you a quick example. Any company, they all have receptionists, secretaries. I don't remember what the TC term is at the moment. Executive assistant, I beg your pardon. So executive assistants, when they get their position, typically, I'm just going to be honest, this is not me, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but typically they are female. They can get pigeonholed. So even though that's their current job, they may move laterally to, and the way that they typically move up is they'll start off as an executive assistant to someone who's middle management, and then they're moving up is becoming the executive assistant to the CEO, CFO, or the owner of the company, etc., like that. So, but if that person doesn't want to be an executive assistant anymore for a variety of reasons. See, if you say, oh, I want to do this for a year. They say, oh yeah, we'll let you do it for a year. And then after the year, you say, oh, I don't want to do this. Okay, we'll let you be executive assistant to someone else. Or this person over there. How do you get along with that person? What about, see, you're not moving in a better direction. That's where I was going with that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So you guys said not to mention your guys' the previous salary that you're making at the other job, but could you not use that as some form of
Not to
leverage?
mention.
Yeah, so like the previous job that I was working at in that hypothetical scenario, it makes me only $50,000 a year, but the place I would work at is $45,000.
Good.
So then I would say like,
Oh, that's.
yeah, I thought I recalled you saying that you shouldn't do it. I don't know if that's the situation.
In this scenario, I was saying that you may not want to reveal that you're taking a pay cut, but you can take it if you want to. If you want to learn a skill, what are the situations? So your question is, why should I reveal the 50,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't reveal that.
Because that is setting your market value for future, like 45. But why you're undermining your own work?
Yeah, and just in the situation, because you said that you're taking less than than your previous job.
I think they're saying that only if you see the future potential in that career path that you're going to take a pay cut in. Like the next level would be a higher one, so it'd be worth it to take that pay cut. But when you take that pay cut, they're saying don't mention your previous salary while taking the pay cut. But in the scenario that before that, when you're trying to justify a higher salary because you're getting paid more, you should bring that up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we said, take the offer letter. Yeah. Second, what do you want?
Yeah.
Second.
Over here. Submission.
So what I was thinking was, is it okay to mention, oh, I was expecting a little more than this, and since I have student loans, I just graduated from school, so I was expecting if I get this much more, I could pay off my student loan faster and then focus more time rather than thinking about my financial obligations.
Yes and no. So you can definitely say, I was expecting a little more. That's fine. I wouldn't bring up, I'm paying student loans off. That's your own personal business. Trust me, they're not interested in that, unfortunately. But again, you all should understand that you shouldn't just be applying in one place. You should constantly be applying. Again, your brand. So if I'm the guy and I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna offer you $1 to work for me, that's not sufficient enough, right? So prove to me why I should pay you more. Tell me why. What are you good at? What do you do? How are you gonna make me money? See, you gotta make me money so I can give you more money. Because I'm not gonna give you more money if I'm not making more money, then I gotta go on my pocket. You understand? Right? So if you make it worth my while, then I'll consider it.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about student loans, they are in their head thinking, oh, we all have that. So it's more about what you're bringing to the table.
It is.
So focus on this is what I'm doing for you.
Right. Just, hold on, I'll see you. Just explain why you're worth whatever it is you think you're worth. Remember I said know your worth? Know what that is. You can even say, hey, I've done some research. And your competitor is playing this position, X amount of money. And I've applied.
And you know, the other thing is researching the company that you're going to interview for. If you have friends, talk, websites, everybody does. Look at LinkedIn profiles, or if you know your interviewers, when you get that email that so-and-so is going to interview you. Because people are happy when you tell them you read about them. So, that's also one.
Yes.
So let's say if I work full time before, but because of school I'm working part time.
Right.
But I finish school, I want to find a full time job.
Okay.
So if the potential employer they ask me my current job's salary, but how should I present to them, because my current job is a part time and they pay me only hourly. I don't want to use that figure. I want to use my peers' full time salary. But how to?
Well, do you want to answer that? Okay, so she's saying she currently works at a job, right? Before she was working full time, before she was a student. Then obviously she couldn't do the work schedule, work full time and be a full time student, so she cut the work to part time.
Okay.
So as she's applying for other positions.
Full time.
Full time.
For full time, because you graduated, she wants to put the full time salary, because they're asked how much were you making at the previous job.
No, they're asking you how much are you making right now.
Oh, how much you making right
because
now?
I'm working.
But my question is, are you applying to the same company?
No,
that
no.
you're applying to a different
Yeah,
company? Oh,
the
that's
full
what
time.
you're
The
saying.
full
You
time.
should take the full-time salary you had before school, account for inflation, look at what the marketing's paying and ask for that.
But
It will
they,
probably be more than what you got before,
right.
or
But,
let's say.
yeah, but they're asking what I'm making right now.
Yeah, they're asking.
Right now,
Yeah, but
when
I
I'm
want
a
to do.
student, I work part-time, it's not comparable, that's what you tell them.
You don't have to tell them.
But I don't want to tell them I'm working part time.
You don't want to?
Yeah,
Then you say I'm a full-time student.
but I graduated already.
Well,
I'm taking a break. My friends have gone back to work after 10 years of taking a break, especially women have children, and some of them are very afraid that they will not be into the market, but they are doing sweet.
yeah.
So the country honors, people who are contributing at home, men or women. So if you make the case, you were wasting your time, you were in school for part of the time. So I think you should be confident is all I'm saying.
My response to that would be this. So when you fill out the application, that's one of the questions they ask you, right?
Yeah.
So be honest, because they're asking what you currently make.
Yeah.
Tell them what you currently make. But in the interview, explain that before I decided to attend the university, I was a full-time employee and this is the amount of money I was making. So I want to make something comparable to that.
I see.
Remember, you really are in control at the interview. You really are.
But the thing is, if they know you're working part time, so
Mhm.
it seems that your skill set got discounted because you don't have the full length of a time.
But this is what happens. When you work full-time, you have those experiences. You-
Different skill sets.
You have different skill sets from the full-time to part-time?
Yeah.
Oh, it's two different positions.
Yeah.
I thought you just went from full-time to part-time,
No.
doing the same job.
No.
You've earned a degree in between.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about. So maybe why do you have to reveal the part-time when you are filling out the application? Is it related? When you are filling out the application before the interview,
Yeah.
do you have to reveal that? Do you think you should reveal the part-time position? Is it a related
Yeah.
position?
Related to the future job. So the more related to the future.
That's tricky.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you now have a degree,
Yeah.
which pushes you up. And it's a full-time position that you're applying for, right?
Yeah.
So full-time degree, you got experience. I mean, now you're a brand. Go back to what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Forget about the part-time thing. That really is a non-issue at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah.
comparable.
Yeah.
You see what I say? But part-time skill set, is relevant to the future job.
I understand.
That's your leverage.
Yeah.
You say, while in school, I was getting experience
Right.
for this job.
Yeah.
Use it as a leverage in the interview.
Okay.
We got two more questions, one in the back there and then one up here.
Oh,
I'll just go to the library.
oh, okay.
Right there, right? Yeah.
Seems like you go negotiate, like you say, I want a little bit more, but they say that you are
Okay. Are you worth that much?
I do before I have a technical question.
Talk a little bit louder so I can hear you.
I work full time before, but like I just like give up the job to go to full time now.
I don't know if you answered my question. My question is, are you worth that much? The original figure? Are you worth that much?
Just so that scenario, just the pay stuff, you know, in full time.
So I
But-
wanted to know that.
That's the question I would answer in the privacy of my own home. Is the figure that's in your head, you have to ask yourself, are you worth that much? And if you feel that you are, then you are. But be realistic. Because sometimes in our mind, we think we're a lot haughtier than we really are, right? So like I was saying before, it was a joke, but to a certain extent I was serious. You know, don't go in and ask for 1.2 million. You know, so you have to figure out, like she was saying a while back about what's the market. So figure out what the market is, figure out where you fit in the market, what do you have as far as credentials, certification, experience, what is the price, and then you have to know what your worth is to understand what you're willing to negotiate or not negotiate. Because some things are not negotiable. For me, some things are not negotiable. There are things I'm absolutely not going to do. So you're not going to pay me $1. I'm sorry. I know my worth. I'm not going to take $1. Thank you, but no thank you.
I was recently stopped by my CEO, and he asked me what was my plan after graduation, and he asked me if I was planning to look for another job.
Okay.
So he told me that he requires like 2 months before leaving my current position. But of course, if you look for another job, they usually give you like 2 week notice.
Right.
So how can I avoid leaving at a bad age and, you know, don't close the door?
Sounds like you're planning to move on. So
Yeah.
how do you?
But he was like really serious on the 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
I've never heard 2 months.
It's at will, you know, that's what it's at will, yeah, unless there's a contract.
Can I ask a couple of questions to kind of get a better idea of what we're talking about? Do you work for a company? Is it a private company or is it?
I work full time with a private company, and we're only 4 people in accounting. So that's why it's for kind of hard for them to let go someone.
Oh, okay, so that's just one department in the whole company.
Yeah.
That you work in accounting, the department, and there's only 4 people. Okay, so do you like where you work?
No.
She wants to move on.
It sounds to me like you've answered your own question. Because go to HR and ask them what the rules are. I'm sure the rules are you're supposed to get a 2-week notice. Now, I would never advise you to burn bridges because you never know when you got to come back across that bridge, right? So, how comfortable are you having a conversation with the CEO? 80%. Like, so I would.
Sounds like it.
80% you can have a conversation with him. Okay, so I would set up an appointment. I would have a conversation with him, and I would tell him, hey, listen, this is my plan. I don't know if I can give you 2 months. You don't have to tell him why. Especially, we're just requiring 2 weeks. You know, understand that you have rights too.
I think it sounds like he wants you to stay. So when I go into that conversation, be comfortable that you're wanted here.
Right.
So the ball is in your court. And so you say things like, I've been thinking, I've been at school, I've been thinking. So give him an idea about you might move on. That's how you don't burn bridges.
He wants me to stay, but I don't want to stay.
Yeah.
So what if the money's good though? Still. What about this? Like, would you say something like, I want to get more experience out there, but I really would love to come back. Like, maybe
Do you
back.
have another job? I don't know.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I work full time.
So right now I would, prep him by saying these things that I'm at school I'm thinking, and I will come back to you and let you know. But don't indicate that you will be leaving.
Right.
Just, all I'm saying is keep the communication channels open, so that the 80% at least stays at 80%, that
Right.
doesn't go down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming.